your Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ Milwaukee.
Good morning, 10:02. We have 56 degrees after maybe some morning rain. Partly cloudy today with a high of 66. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Connie Weber. Expecting 42,000 fans to cheer on the Brewers at American Family Field for Game 5. Brewers President of Business Operations Rick Schlesinger tells Wisconsin's Morning News to plan ahead for parking.
The parking lot's open 3.5 hours before first pitch. Gates open 2.5 hours before first pitch. I would tell people to try to get preferred parking or advanced parking, before. Don't rely on being able to get a parking space when you show up, because we're literally parking everybody where we can, and there's just only so many spaces.
And there are only standing room only tickets left. First pitch at 7:08 p.m. tomorrow, Saturday. A ceasefire now in effect in Gaza. And Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the country's celebrating the expected return of hostages. He also warned Hamas to disarm or else. ABC News chief foreign correspondent Ian Pennell is in Tel Aviv with more on the Prime Minister's speech.
This is an important quote. He said, if this is achieved the easy way, so be it. If not, it will be achieved the hard way. Clearly, a threat of a return to military action if Hamas doesn't comply. But already we're seeing that it's Hamas resuming charge in those areas, the Hamas police force taking control of the streets once again.
This is Israel troops reportedly starting to withdraw from Gaza. A federal judge has temporarily blocked President Trump's deployment of National Guard troops to Chicago. The order, which will last for 2 weeks, temporarily blocks Trump from federalizing and deploying the Guard in Illinois. Meanwhile, in Oregon, Trump administration waiting for a decision after requesting to pause a lower court ruling that blocked the Guard from operating in Portland. Uvalde, Texas, a city rocked by a mass shooting in 2022, takes a step toward recovery.
Legacy Elementary will feature several memorials to the 19 students and 2 teachers murdered 3.5 years ago. Robb Elementary no longer exists as a school, but the building still stands and will until all the civil lawsuits are done. At that point, it's to be torn down.
ABC's Jim Ryan says the ribbon cutting is today on Legacy Elementary. Waukesha board members say they're exploring options for selling or even eliminating middle schools altogether.
One proposal could save more than $3 million, but has parents and teachers worried about the impact on students.
Decision makers need to spend enough time in district buildings to get to know the students and staff and see learning in action, what's currently working or not working, and where to make changes to improve student outcomes and staff satisfaction.
But the board believes this is the right decision.
We have to take some action, in our opinion, administratively, to right-size the school district of Waukesha. And if we can take some of those actions, we're very confident that we can continue to provide the service level that we continually do.
Board members say they'll continue reviewing options and seek more feedback before any set decision. Nizer Spencer, WTMJ News.
Time for news about your money at the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Downturn on Wall Street. Dow off now 266 points. NASDAQ down 239. S&P 500 down 51. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth. Annex Private Client. Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather up next. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time 10:05.
Heart disease won't stop us. Diabetes won't slow us down. Allergies, high blood pressure, shoulder pain, cancer. Nothing will keep us from pushing Wisconsin ahead. Because with the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, forward progress is what we stand for. That means always pushing and always innovating. With new technologies and breakthrough treatments that make life better, whether we're sick or well. It means providing more convenience and more ways to receive medical excellence for all your health needs, for big and small. It means being there for you, our family, caring for yours. So let's keep raising the bar. Let's keep testing the limits of what medicine can do. Let's push ahead and make life here as great as it can be. Visit Freighter.com to find out how.
Gene Miller here for my friends at Hometown Windows and Doors. Unfortunately, it's not too early to start thinking about those upcoming heating bills. At Hometown's huge New Berlin showroom, you can compare energy-efficient windows from Anderson, Pella, Marvin, and more. Like me, you'll get a dedicated project consultant to guide you to the products that best fit your home, style, and budget, along with employee carpenters who respect your home. Do what I did. Contact Hometown Windows and Doors today. Hometown with an E for your every window and door need. 414-329-1200 or online at hometownwindows.com. SteinhoffelsAthletic.com.
Matt LePay for Steinhoffels. Steinhoffels is a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Since 1934, Steinhoffels has been Wisconsin's furniture and mattress destination for quality, selection, and service. For over 90 years, Steinhoffels has helped Wisconsinites create the homes of their dreams and is 100% employee-owned. Steinhoffels has the largest selection of all the latest styles and all the best mattress brands. You'll find something for every style and every budget. Shop in-store or online at steinhoffels.com. Relax, it's Steinhoffels.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Milwaukee lost 6-9 to the Cubs in Game 4 of the NLDS. Teams will play a winner-take-all Game 5 in Milwaukee on Saturday. Green Bay will host the Bengals on Sunday. Packers have won their last 2 games against Cincinnati, both in overtime. Badgers host Iowa at Camp Randall on Saturday. Badgers 2-3 this season, having lost 3 consecutive games. Badgers Sports Update sponsored by Siding Unlimited, Siding, and a whole lot more. And the Bucks stay unbeaten in preseason play. Milwaukee beat the Detroit Pistons 117-111 at home. They'll continue their exhibition slate Sunday against the Bulls in Chicago. Taking a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Highway 241 south at Layton, the right shoulder there was blocked due to a crash. That has been cleared. Also, I-41 north, or 41 north at 43 north. Left lane there was blocked due to a broken down vehicle. That also cleared off the roadway. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Partly cloudy today with a high 66. Clear tonight, lows 49 lakeside, 39 inland. Sunny and 64 tomorrow. Chance for rain Sunday afternoon or evening, high 65. Just a slight chance of showers Monday. Partly sunny, high 68. And mostly sunny Tuesday, high of 63. 53 in Madison, 58 in Green Bay, 56 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:09.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scafidi and Kristin Brey.
No, Steve. We did not play jazz. You didn't want to play the Steve's still on vacation. I wonder if you heard that. Someone gave him a heads up, but I don't know if you actually heard it or not.
It's coming back. This is our last day without him.
All right. Well, those are the voices of Bill McCoshen, Republican strategist, and Joe Zepecki, Democratic strategist. As always, they join us on Fridays, which is, I would say, our most popular show of the week because of you guys.
Well, nice.
You said it, not me.
It's a gloomy Friday.
It's pretty. It is a little gloomy. I feel like fall is finally here after it feeling like the middle of summer last weekend. But lots to get to today, and I think the biggest news, the biggest global news, is peace in the Middle East. Knock on wood, right? A peace agreement has been reached between Israel and Hamas. In the first phase, Israel is going to partially withdraw its troops from Gaza, and Hamas will release the remaining hostages. It sounds like Monday or Tuesday. And in turn, Israel is going to release hundreds of Palestinian prisoners. There is less known about what's going to happen post-war on rebuilding Gaza and whether or not Hamas will have to disarm. But, wow. Right? I mean, compared to where we were not that long ago, I feel like was when Steve was still here and the 20-point plan was introduced.
Yep.
It was like, well, great. But I would be honest, my gut instinct was like, how many times have we been here? Is this really going to work? And here we are. So I will say, hats off to Trump as far as his role in this, and hopefully this actually sticks. And so I guess I'll ask both of you, how much credit do you give to Trump to getting this done, and why do you think he could get it done?
I give all the credit to Trump, Rubio, Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, Steve Witkoff, his special envoy who've been working on this, and actually Jared Kushner, Trump's son-in-law, was deeply involved in this. The reason I give those gentlemen the most credit for this is because they made it a multi-nation effort, right? They brought in Egypt, Turkey, Qatar, who had not been part of these discussions before. It was always about the Palestinians and Israel, and he was in a position where Netanyahu respected him. When he said to Netanyahu, "Enough's enough. The bombing will end, or we're not going to be on your side anymore." I think Netanyahu got the message and said, "Okay, we better figure this out." And then he sent an even stronger message to the Palestinians: "You have till 5 o'clock on Sunday. We're going to blow you to smithereens." And you know what? They figured out a solution. I'm cautiously optimistic. I don't want to,
I think a lot of people
oversell this until hostages are released on Monday. When that happens, it will be an extraordinary achievement that probably nobody else on this planet could have pulled off. And you got to give him credit. And for the Democrats out there who have given him credit, and it's more than just Fetterman this time, kudos to you. And you did at the beginning of the show. I think in situations like this, it should bring the country together, and we should be able to give credit to whoever was involved in it. And in this case, it was led by Trump, and so far, so good.
Joe?
Eeyore's back.
Eeyore's back? What does that mean?
He calls me Eeyore when I am the bucket of cold water on on anything. Listen, I hope this works. I hope they figured it out. A ceasefire is not a plan for sustainable long-term peace. This is still the most complicated region in the world. We still have a split between the most powerful nations in the world, right? If you look at the G7, G8, you now have countries like France and the UK who have endorsed the idea of a Palestinian state. The United States has not done that yet. There is nothing in this that says that Hamas is not going to be leading the Palestinian people. So there are glaring to me like issues that in pursuit of peace, you want to try to just like paper over and pretend like we'll get to that later. But these are pretty fundamental. And in terms of like the credit, like blessed are the peacemakers. I really mean that. This is not my traditional like knee jerk. I don't like Trump and therefore I don't like anything he does. I hope this works. I hope they did it. But I think when you look at the last couple of weeks, the inciting incident was that Bibi Netanyahu miscalculated. Their decision to launch strikes in Qatar to take out Hamas leaders is part of what pissed Trump off
100%,
enough
100%.
to like have the leverage and change his mind. And so it's not like because Donald Trump is the greatest thing since sliced bread, he was just able to magically do this. Bibi Netanyahu miscalculated. He made a mistake. And now, as part of like working his way back into the good graces of Trump, this may be the thing that he felt like he needed to do. And I think there's probably a reason it's called a ceasefire and not a peace plan. And so I'm skeptical.
I feel like it is being called a peace plan.
Yeah, it is. And there are multiple phases. This first phase really is the withdrawal of the Israeli
Partial
troops,
withdrawal.
the exchange of hostages both ways. And we'll know if all that happened in the next 4 or 5 days.
Because there's still ongoing negotiations, right? If like, because really, who pays for, how do you rebuild Gaza?
Yeah.
Where do these people go?
The other part of this that I haven't seen reported in a bunch of places, but I shared this in our chat when I saw it the other day. As part of this, the United States has deployed a couple hundred soldiers to the Middle East to supervise this peace deal. If you know your history, you know that there are moments in time where we send in advisors and now troops are on the ground. And then there's mission creep. I am not sure that, aside from the peace part of it, that the politics of this are going to work out great for Donald Trump, because this is a guy who said, we're going to deal with what's going on at home, right? We're not going to get entangled in foreign conflicts. We're not going to do stupid wars and send our boys and girls overseas to fight. Well, apparently we've got 200 U.S. military members on the way to the Middle East to help oversee this thing. I would watch that space because I'm not sure that's what a lot of MAGA signed up for or thought they were getting when they voted America first.
I'm opposed to nation building. I think the president's opposed to nation building. I think those guys are there to see that phase one happens. But as I understood what the president said yesterday and what Rubio said, they expect Egypt, Qatar, and Turkey to be sort of the peacemakers and the investors over there. So
then I'm not sure you needed those boots on the ground.
Here's a question, though.
We'll see.
Are they going to get paid?
They're going to get paid.
Are they going to get paid?
We're going to get to that at some point. Yeah, they're going to get paid.
Let's take a break. Anything left on here?
I think so.
Or
I
do we
think
move
it's
on
fair
to the
to say
shutdown?
Bill is cautiously optimistic, and I am skeptical, even though I don't want to be, because I love the idea of getting this fixed. I'm just, this president's track record when it comes to international relations and forging peace has not been proven out to date. I genuinely hope that I am wrong and that my skepticism is ill-founded.
All right. On that, Joe Zepecki, Bill McCoshen, I am Kristin Brey. This is Point Taken. We'll be back after this.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus. I'm Weston. What's your question?
What makes Hasselus mattress different?
Aside from employee-free showrooms, free next-day delivery and haul-away, and way too low prices on Beauty Rest, Sealy Posturepedic, and Serta Perfect Sleeper?
Yeah, besides that.
Well, Hasselus is locally owned.
You mean your franchise is locally owned?
We're not a franchise. Every showroom is owned and managed by the same family. So, when you shop at Hasselus, your money stays right here. And through Monday, our family wants to give you a $248 credit towards a new Beauty Rest, Sealy Posturepedic, and Serta Perfect Sleeper just for shopping local.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Our 43 beds from the top 5 brands start at $393.
I like that.
Try and buy with no pushy sales guy.
I love that.
Free next day delivery too.
Thanks.
For what?
For being different.
Shop local and enjoy a $248 credit through Monday at Hasselus Mattress. Open 9 to 9. Find a no-hassle, employee-free showroom near you at Hasselus.com.
Does your bathroom belong in a haunted house? Or maybe it's just time for a refresh. WTMJ and Sidex are back with the Beautiful Bathroom Contest. One lucky listener will win a tub or shower conversion valued up to $10,000. It's easy. Snap a pic of your scary shower, terrifying tub, or even just one you're tired of. And enter now at WTMJ.com. Sidex makes it easy to go from fright to fabulous.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guest, Sighting Unlimited. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. Yet at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I am Kristin Brey here with Joe Zepecki and Bill McCoshen.
Is the shutdown the road to Shambhala? Is it?
Yeah, you got jazz at that one.
Woo! All right. Well, yes, the shutdown is expected to extend into next week after the Senate failed again yesterday to advance any stopgap spending bills. No, sounds like there's not going to be any votes until Tuesday, and people are supposed to get paid on Wednesday. Speaker Mike Johnson went on C-SPAN. Did he go on yesterday?
It was yesterday or Wednesday.
And took calls from the public, which was, good on him for actually taking it and being there, but it didn't seem like it moved him. So, who wants to start as far as who's going to blink first?
Bill's got a secret plan to end the shutdown.
So, this week I was at a client conference in Williamsburg, Virginia, and on day 2 we had a panel about the changes on education at the federal level. And on that panel was former Majority Leader Tom Daschle from South Dakota. In front of 250 people, I got up at the end. I asked him a question. I said, do you think John Thune will use the nuclear option and end the filibuster to pass the CR? Without missing a beat, he said yes. The other guy on the panel, who was more right-leaning, said no chance Republicans would ever go for that. So I tracked Daschle down that night at dinner. Him and I had a private conversation about it. I said, okay, if you were there, would you do it? He said, absolutely. It's the only way to get this solved. And the more I thought about it, I think he's right. I think now is the time to nuke the filibuster because he explained this whole thing. It started in 1917. It was actually meant to force compromise, and that's exactly what it did until 1967. Cloture was only invoked. What cloture means you can actually get to the vote on the bill 51 times during that 60-year period of time. 51 times. It has been invoked 250 times in the last 3 years alone. So it is now a tool of obstruction, and that's it. It doesn't force any compromise. So if I'm Thune, there's very little of it left, and I know some conservatives are probably driving off the road as I'm saying this. This is about strategy and making sure the government continues to work. I think the longer this goes, it's going to end up being bad for everyone. But since they're in the majority, the Republicans, it's going to be very bad for them. I would nuke the filibuster on Monday. I would pass the CR, let the president sign it. And within 10 days, I would also come back with a health care bill. This is where they're losing ground. I think the Republicans have played this wrong. They should have an answer on this health care thing. If they're going to extend those tax credits or wean them off over a couple year period of time, then have a goddamn bill to do it and be ready to do that in the next 2 weeks.
Well, because we had a guest on this week that was like, it's not that they expire at the end of the year, but for the insurance
they don't expire
companies
now.
But for the insurance companies, they're already sending mailers out saying this is what your premiums are going to be, and the deadline is November 1st for them to change what the 2026. So like the deadline's a lot sooner than we think it is. For the sake of the insurance companies and what they're going to do with their plans.
100%. Since we're talking about insurers, this money all goes to them. It doesn't actually go to the ratepayer.
Yeah.
So this is more money for insurers. But I think something will be done, and I think Republicans have to be proactive on this and stop playing defense.
Because, Joe, do you see Democrats blinking?
No.
I don't think so either.
Because they think my side thinks they're winning because people in a few states have gotten those letters saying, here's what your plan will be next year. And that's what's prompting these like confrontations. Not that it was like uncivil when the woman, who's the spouse of a current active duty military member was like on the phone with Johnson on C-SPAN saying like, our family can't survive like this. And even Marjorie Taylor Greene is going like, the American people cannot stomach doubling and tripling of healthcare premiums next year. So this is demanding a solution that, from Marjorie Taylor Greene's telling, her party doesn't have. Now, Mike Johnson's retort to that is, well, she's not on the relevant committees and she doesn't know what's in the works. But if Republicans have a health care plan,
where is it?
The American people would love to see it.
Yeah.
Right? This is a classic Donald Trump thing where like, oh, yeah, we'll have that plan for you in 2 weeks. We have the concepts of a plan. The Republicans have not had a plan on health care. And here is the like Eeyore bucket of cold water I'll throw on my friend Bill. Because remember, if you blow up the filibuster for this, there will come a time when there is a Democrat trifecta, White House and both branches of Congress. You are okay living in a world where Medicare for all could be enacted by a majority vote in the Senate. Okay.
That's what elections are for.
But
I think the filibuster makes senators in particular lazy.
I think you're probably right. And I appreciate your candor on that, but I think the motivations for Thune to not do it are what I just said.
They're institutional. And guys like Mitch McConnell won't go along with them, but I think with enough pressure from the White House, they can get this done.
All right, let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back and wrap up the first half hour of Point Taken with Bill McCoshen and Joe Zepecki, and I'm Kristin Brey.
Get inside the mind of Mark Tauscher.
It's Christmas. You just got a great present that you believe when you open it, you're going to win a championship.
See the world from his perspective.
I think the only real answer is they bungled it. And I think Dallas fans know that they bungled it.
On Wisconsin's Morning News, every day at 7:50.
We'll take your bungling, and we're going to be more than happy to grab that bungle, take it, and try to chase a championship with it.
Mark Tauscher, presented by Hello Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and Kohler Services.
Hey, Milwaukee Brewer fans, want to hit up a Potawatomi sportsbook before a postseason game but need a ride to the game? Hit 2 balls with 1 bat by hitching a ride on a Potawatomi game day shuttle. Make any purchase in Sportbook or same-day sports bet to get a wristband and a seat on the shuttle. Shuttles begin approximately 2 hours before the first pitch. Return shuttles run nonstop for 1 hour after the game. For more information, visit Potawatomi.com. Bet above the rest.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
The fall home buying season is officially here, which sometimes means less competition among home buyers, but that doesn't seem to be the case this year, with most listings still getting multiple offers. Now, a lot of home shoppers just go with their bank for their pre-approval. But if you'd like to get into your new home for the holidays, now's the time to get started with a rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval from AccuNet, or switch if you started somewhere else. Not only will we put a $2,000 guarantee behind our fully verified pre-approval, we'll also work with you and your real estate agent to craft offers that get accepted over the rest. Our favorite tool is to see if we can get an appraisal waiver for the property you're trying to buy. Sure, that takes more effort on our part, but adding those magic words, "no appraisal required," to your property-specific pre-approval can be the difference maker. And our closing costs are typically $1,000 to $3,000 less than the bank's for the same rate. Get started with your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval by clicking on the blue button today at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scaffidi from Milwaukee Weight Loss. Yes, I can't believe it, but you should believe it because I lost now 46 pounds since January. How did I do it? Milwaukee Weight Loss. Not the shots, not the gimmicky stuff, the meals, bars, shakes, just hard work, willpower, eating less, still getting my 10,000 steps in. but it reset my metabolism because I've been off the reduction program for a while now, and I was actually still losing some weight. And the weight comes off. It's doctor-developed and natural and helped thousands of people just like me, and certainly you lose that body weight in just 8 weeks, then you got to maintain. Most people, 20, 30 pounds of weight loss. If you have a reunion or a wedding or a vacation you're looking forward to, this is the answer for you. It was for me. Milwaukee Weight Loss, incredible team. Their coaches are amazing. Part of the success story that I had was those coaches at Milwaukee Weight Loss. Schedule your free consultation today or go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com or call 262-393-2334. I'm reading it slow because somebody said, you're reading it too fast. 262-393-2334. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Welcome back. 2 Point Taken. I'm Kristin Brey, wrapping up this first half hour with Bill McCoshen and Joseph Pecky.
If they're watching online, can they see our interaction
during the commercial break?
Yeah.
I think, Jazz, I feel like we have a we'll be right back on during the commercial break. I think that's a different screen, so they can't see. Although I think that would be interesting, like to have no sound, but just see people like conversing and
Not
laughing.
as interesting as viewing our texts all week long.
Yeah. No one should see those.
Never just. We should probably move those to Signal.
We should move those to Signal. All right. Closing thoughts on the shutdown, where we go from here.
It seems clear to me that the pain associated with this shutdown only increases with each passing day. So there's the three things to watch. Number one, you mentioned some states are in their like window shopping period for healthcare plans. More states, every single week or day this goes on, consumers will be getting those letters. Two, Transportation Secretary Duffy is saying that the initial like tremors within the air traffic control system, and which are causing delays, is going to get worse after this weekend. Third, troop pay, and the folks who will miss a paycheck on the 15th. And so for as much as sound and fury as there's been around the shutdown, for the first 9-10 days of it, I think we're at, it's going to get louder and it's going to get worse.
Especially when people start getting stuck in Sicily.
Yeah, and I think
no one can work the
one
airplanes.
of the things Mike Johnson just has to do, and I don't know how he works his way out of this Gordian knot, but like he's got to bring Congress back, because for a Republican majority House to just not be at work and not even be in Washington as this is happening is a really bad look. But if he brings him back, he has to swear in the new Democratic member of Congress, and that will trigger a vote on the Epstein files. And he doesn't want to do that, so he's in a pickle.
Bill?
I would say Johnson has done what he needed to do, which is he passed the CR, the clean CR. And bringing them back is not I understand what you're saying. I think keeping them out longer all next week is bad optics for sure. But the first real trigger here is the 15th. That's payday. And the notion that we on our side are going to be able to call it the Schumer shutdown on the 15th, nobody who misses a check cares.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All they care about is they can't pay their bills. So we are 5 days from a major turning point in this. And I think my solution is the quickest, which is stop dealing with the Democrats, do your business, and then get to work on health care.
All right. Well, I guess we'll see next Friday where things are. But when we come back, some news out of Chicago. So we will talk about troops not being on the ground anymore in Chicago, what's going on in Portland.
The Bears still suck?
The Bears still suck. I will say J.B. Pritzker had a very funny video about
made a guest appearance on
Jimmy
the Kimmel show last
and
night.
There was a Brewers reference that was very funny. Do you put ketchup on your hot dog, Bill?
Missed it.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
All right, but first, ABC News and then local headlines.
ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. It's day 10 of the government shutdown, and House Speaker Mike Johnson's putting the blame on Democrats for the ripple effects.
Today marks the first day federal workers across America will receive a partial paycheck thanks to Democrats' obstruction to the system here.
But Democrats are blaming Republicans for refusing to negotiate. Phase 1 of the White House peace proposals underway in Gaza. That means Hamas is in a 72-hour window to return all hostages. Israeli forces have withdrawn to lines specified in an agreement. President Trump on social media said he's not happy with what he called China's trade hostility and threatened steeper tariffs against China. He also said he sees no reason to meet with Chinese leader Xi Jinping as scheduled next month. Multiple sources tell ABC News that Attorney General Pam Bondi and other senior leadership of the Justice Department was caught off guard by the indictment of New York Attorney General Letitia James. This is ABC News.
Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 10:31. I'm Connie Weber. A teen recovering after an early morning shooting on Milwaukee's South Side, 22nd and Tripoli. 18-year-old went to the hospital. Police looking for the shooter. The chair of the New Glarus Town Board facing misdemeanor charges for theft and obstructing an officer. A Greene County Sheriff's Office says 62-year-old Chris Narvison allegedly took a campaign sign belonging to opponent Bob Reddy before April's election. Narvison denied the claim online, but neighbors reportedly saw him remove the sign and put it in his truck. He's due in court November 10th. A Racine hospital employee accused of leaving her disabled child in a car while working. According to our news partners TMJ4, police say 26-year-old Kayla Hamilton left her nonverbal autistic daughter in a car while working at Ascension All Saints Hospital in Racine Wednesday night. Security staff found the child wearing a coat but no shoes or socks in the mid-40-degree temperatures. Hamilton could get more than 3 years if convicted of felony child neglect. Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market update. The markets are sharply lower. Dow is down 425 points, 45,933. The Nasdaq down 496 at 22,528. S&P 500 down 96 points at 6,638. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. The only problem out there on the freeway system right now, just a disabled vehicle. It is off right. This is going to be on the ramp from I-41 East to 41 South. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Partly cloudy today with a high of 66. Clear overnight, 49 lakeside, 39 inland. Mostly sunny and 64 tomorrow. Just a chance for rain in the afternoon or evening Sunday after a high of 65. Slight chance of showers on Monday. Partly sunny, high 68. And mostly sunny Tuesday, high 63. 57 in Madison, 59 in Green Bay, 56 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:33.
Cheese doodles, Mr. Nougat Bar. Oh, here we go. 4-door hatchback.
Some things are fine to buy from a vending machine, but a car is not one of them. The national online company makes it seem convenient, but it won't be so convenient if you have a problem with the vehicle you buy. And if it's after 7 days, good luck. Adam member dealers also let you search online, plus test drive the vehicle before you buy it. And they're right here to handle any issues.
What? The car's stuck. No!
Start your search at adam.com.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure. Join me every Saturday for Experience Wisconsin. We check in with communities across the state for the best and brightest spots around Wisconsin. Fall's a beautiful time. Plan your trip now and let us help you. It's a fun show, and I love it. The guest this week, the Wisconsin Historical Society. I think we're going to actually talk about Old World Wisconsin with Dan Hess, and we'll travel to Elkhorn. Kate, Abby, and Elkhorn. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's Experience Wisconsin every Saturdays right here on 620 WTMJ.
If you've ever worried about your heart, if you've ever loved someone with heart disease, if you've ever wondered if you're the one at risk, let's remind ourselves that we are not powerless. Because at the Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, we're pushing to outsmart heart and vascular disease by working with you personally to understand your history, assess your risks, and guide you to heart strength. By digging deep with tireless research and offering access to leading-edge clinical trials. And for the most serious conditions, including heart failure, heart valve disease, arrhythmias, and vascular diseases, we provide renowned expertise and the most advanced life-saving procedures you expect from academic medicine. So let's get out in front of heart disease. Let's outsmart it. Let's keep pushing so that every one of us can outrun it and embrace every beautiful day life in Wisconsin has to offer. To learn more about our nationally renowned heart and vascular care, visit froedtert.com/heart.
J.B. Pritzker reporting from war-torn Chicago. As you can see, there's utter mayhem and chaos on the ground. It's quite disturbing. The Milwaukee Brewers have come in to attack our Chicago Cubs. We've seen people being forced to eat hot dogs with ketchup on them. And our deep dish pizza, well, has gone shallow. So it's a challenge to survive here in the city of Chicago, but there's no hellscape that I'd rather be in.
Well, thank you, Governor. And please know that you and the Cubs will be in our prayers.
The Cubs should not be in Jimmy Kimmel's prayers, but that was J.B. Pritzker doing a bit for Jimmy Kimmel, poking fun at the war-torn Chicago. I will admit that I do eat ketchup on my hot dogs.
Yeah, do enough people understand this reference? Do you get why that's a joke? Okay.
I don't. What is the reference?
A couple months ago, Barack Obama said something that crossed one of my red lines and had the worst take he has ever had. Former President Barack Obama said one of his cardinal rules is that you should not be allowed to put ketchup on anything if you're older than 8 years old.
Don't tell that to my husband.
And he's just wrong.
He's wrong about
Sorry,
that.
sorry, boss. Sorry, Mr. President.
I don't put ketchup on brats, only mustard. But
Okay.
on hot dogs, hell yeah.
All right. Let's.
And cheeseburgers.
Wait, there's
and
my
French
second
fries.
swear.
Oh yeah, someone did scold you on your language earlier. All right, so federal courtrooms on opposite sides of the country on Thursday served as stages for the ongoing showdown between Democratic-led cities and the Trump administration. So in a scathing oral ruling from Chicago, Judge April Perry granted a temporary restraining order halting the Trump administration's deployment of National Guard troops in Illinois for 2 weeks. Not surprisingly, the White House has appealed that ruling. And then over in the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, they are considering whether Trump administration should be blocked from federalizing the Oregon National Guard. So what is he trying to do here, Bill? What is the end goal?
So he had a lot of success in Washington, D.C. It didn't start great. The mayor was initially opposed to it. Then she came around and said, hey, this is actually working. We like this. And now there's a partnership, and they've extended the agreement between the two. I don't think this is a great national strategy for him. If Chicago doesn't want him, I would not mess around with it. I wouldn't. I think Oregon is different, Portland in particular, because of what's going on at the ICE facility there and the attacks that are going on a daily basis. I think they can and should protect that, and the Constitution allows them to do that.
So I've read less about the attacks. What are the attacks that are happening?
Well, they've got protesters who are hurling things at the building on a daily basis, who are accosting people who come and go that are workers there, ICE workers. It puts them in jeopardy if they have to actually mask up so they can't see who they are when they come in and out. You don't want to get doxxed or followed home, and we've seen a lot of political violence lately. So I think he is well within his jurisdiction to protect that building, and if that means a lot of arrests in Portland, so be it. I'm not sure this is a great strategy for them. There are bigger issues, like getting the government back open is a much bigger issue right now. And making sure that the economy is on the right track.
I have thoughts, but Joe, go.
Yeah, so just real quick on that. The hardest thing about this is we don't know what information the president is receiving from his staff. And that is now proving out to be dangerous because the governor of Oregon is saying that Trump is telling her, well, what I'm seeing on TV is Portland is burning. It's not. There have not been anything like the attack you're describing for 3 months. Kristi Noem marches up to the rooftop of that ICE building to look out upon the vistas and these masses of protests. And it's 12 reporters and 10 protesters, one of them in an inflatable frog costume. So in court, what judges are saying is that the facts that are being presented by the federal government do not match the reality of what is happening on the ground. And so this is a real challenge for Trump, who apparently is being poorly staffed or is just swimming in his social media feeds and doesn't actually understand what's happening on the ground. So that's sort of point one. Point two, the politics of this are turning on the Trump administration. Finally, 2 Republican governors this week have come out and said, this is crazy. The first was Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt, who pointed out accurately that of course, J.B. Pritzker is right. If he doesn't want Texas National Guard coming to police his seats, they shouldn't go. And the reason, and then the next sentence was because you know what? Oklahomans would be mad as hell if J.B. Pritzker's Illinois National Guard showed up on our streets. So you finally are seeing judges using stronger language to call out these Trump administration attorneys in court who are misrepresenting the truth of what's happening. You finally have Republican governors standing up and going, hold on a second. If this is Tennessee and a Republican governor wants to call up their National Guard, great. That is lawful. I think it's overkill and it's probably more expensive than actually solving these issues of crime in cities. But you don't have Texas National Guardsmen and women invade the state of Illinois. This is nuts.
What I would say about Pritzker on Kimmel, humor is very effective in politics, and very few politicians know how to use it or use it well. That was a funny skit. And humor to me is my first official date with my wife was to a comedy club. I love it. And it is the most lethal in a campaign ad of anything. Much better than a toxic ad every day of the week because it's memorable, right? So I don't think Pritzker has covered himself in glory over the last month. Last night was funny, and that was good for him. And it will cause some people to view him slightly more positively.
All right, let's take a break. I want to come back and just the thing that is, it's just
There's so much more to talk about.
There's so much more to talk about, but I just want the videos of people getting ripped. Like the one that I sent you yesterday, the video of a mom dropping off her kid at school, getting ripped out of her car, and like. One, it's just the humanity of it, but also politically, as more and more of these videos go viral, like I think the average person doesn't want to see that. So we'll talk about that on the other side of the break. This is Point Taken. Stay with us.
We all have someone we know or love that has been affected by some form of cancer.
No matter how well you love and support them and try to be there for them, you can never really know what a person is feeling after hearing the words, "You have breast cancer."
Only another person that has been through this experience can really understand what it feels like.
ABCD, After Breast Cancer Diagnosis, is a Milwaukee-based organization known around the world.
When someone calls ABCD, they are matched with a mentor who is a breast cancer survivor of similar age and has the same type of breast cancer who can provide hope when people need it the most.
Kessler's is excited to announce that we've designed 3 new Hope pendants to honor breast cancer patients, survivors, thrivers, and caregivers.
100% of the net proceeds, along with an additional donation from Kessler's, will support ABCD when you purchase the symbol of hope.
You can find a link with more information about ABCD, along with all 3 modern designs starting at just $75 in sterling silver and $598 in gold, online at KesslersDiamonds.com.
Does your bathroom belong in a haunted house? Or maybe it's just time for a refresh. WTMJ and Sidex are back with the Beautiful Bathroom Contest. One lucky listener will win a tub or shower conversion valued up to $10,000. It's easy. Snap a pic of your scary shower, terrifying tub, or even just one you're tired of. And enter now at WTMJ.com. Sidex makes it easy to go from fright to fabulous.
Seal out drafts, dust, and moisture with MD brand weather stripping from Menards. A well-sealed home is more comfortable and energy efficient. We have the largest selection of in-stock weather stripping with over 100 products available to take home and start lowering your energy bills today. Save big money on weather stripping right now at Menards and check out our weekly flyer on menards.com for more great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
For your fellow fanatics and your #1 fans. For your game day compatriots and your everyday companions. For your personal cheerleaders and your personal heroes. For the reasons you smile, get covered with dental and vision insurance from Delta Dental of Wisconsin and Delta Vision. Learn more at deltadentalwi.com today.
Are you worried about running out of money in retirement? Wondering about how to pay less taxes? Join me, Tony Drake, for the Retirement Ready Show live every Saturday at noon and Sunday at 7 a.m. on WTMJ 620 or 103.3 FM. We'll talk about smart strategies to help you retire with confidence. Don't miss it.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
Goodyear, Dunlop, Kelly, Continental, General, you name it, we got it.
Plus, free flat tire repair, free tire rotations, and more.
So when you're due for tire service, schedule it at richlawns.com.
That's Rich Lawns with 2 N's.
Rich Lawns.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I'm Kristin Brey talking to Bill McCoshen and Joe Zepecki about the Insurrection Act being employed. Troops, I guess they're not on the ground right now, but it's going to be appealed. The war-torn cities of Chicago and Portland. But a lot of this comes back, from what I understand, is some of it is like it seems like it's different than just why they're sending troops. They sent troops to D.C. to handle crime. Some of this is also in response to protesters being angry about ICE's tactics. And we're seeing this every week, right? Like I see videos every week of old men getting thrown to the ground and having massive bruising all over their body. Women getting pulled out of their car while they're doing school drop-off. We know last week the raid in Chicago
that one
really
is the one
did not even get that much. The fact that wasn't the headline story of helicopters dropping troops in or dropping ICE in and kicking doors in, and American citizens, along with people who are undocumented, being dragged out, some naked,
zip tied
children
on the
being
street for
zip-tied.
hours.
Like, this is so inhumane, and it's one thing to be bothered by it right now, but it's also like I only think this is going to be a losing issue as more people see this, and it's just like I thought they were going after criminals.
I think 70% of the people they've detained so far, as I heard the numbers this morning, 1.6 million people have self-deported. 500,000+ have been detained and have been sent back. So we're a little over 2 million. That would be less than any single year of people that came in under Joe Biden. So it's not at the pace that it may appear on TV, but they are supposed to be focused on criminals. My understanding is that 70% of these people, of the 500,000+, had a criminal record, in some cases a very severe criminal record. So that is what they are targeting. They now have more ICE agents as a result of the big, beautiful bill. And
a lot more.
A lot more.
I mean, they're opening because they're opening a huge office here.
This. But I would close with this based on the point you made, KB, and that's the polling still shows the public wants this. They understood what they voted for. They wanted illegal immigrants removed from the country. It's still 55% approve of this, regardless of what they've seen on TV or what the narrative has been. So I think the president is still where the public is on this issue.
It's moving against him. ICE's own data showed that by June of this year, nearly half of all the immigrants in ICE detention had no criminal records, right? We have all seen the videos with our own eyes of people who are doing it the right way, going to their meetings. And there's ICE agents out there who, after they go into their meeting before a judge, and they get thrown into the back of a car. The Trump administration has overplayed their hand on this, and even if the majority of Americans are still with him, that is fewer than were with him a year ago, because they have screwed this up, because they are asking us to believe that they know who all these folks are, and we're only going after the bad guys. And not for nothing, but we also know who these bad guys are that were murdering on the high seas. Really? Because this is the same gang that sent a gay hairdresser to a hellhole in El Salvador, and so, oh, no, he's a bad guy. No, he's a bad guy. Well, guess what? He's been released now, because it turns out he wasn't a bad guy. So they undermined their own credibility, and there is no reason left for the American people to believe them when they say, no, we're only going after the worst of the worst. Really? A mom picking up her kid after school is the worst of the worst? Really? Was the 5-year-old kid who you zip-tied and left on the street of Chicago for several hours, that was the worst of the worst? The American citizens that you are detaining, whether for 5 minutes or 5 hours, it's unconstitutional, it's inappropriate. The Trump administration has misplayed this, and they are going to see continued political losses because of it, most notably among minority communities in 2026 at the ballot box.
We'll see. It hasn't shown up in the polling yet, and he hasn't lost Hispanic voters at all. They're still very strong.
What
those
polls
who came
are you looking
here,
at? Because I've read multiple
This
things
is like
that say
this is like the polls
losing.
Joe Biden's team would show him.
Listen, he's in a pretty strong spot at this point. Could that change over time? Yeah, anything can change over time. But if they, again, take my advice and do away with filibuster, they could actually pass real immigration reform, too.
Oh, and that is what everyone actually wants. That's the thing. It's like everyone wants. I was talking to Pam Yaki this week as far as the effort from the farmers' point of view of make it easier for us to hire these people on visas.
Yeah.
And we've been waiting for this for so long of make it easier for people to actually be here legally. Anyways, all right, let's take a break. We'll come, Joe, what?
We doing Gov's race?
Go to the New York Times. There was a poll released 2 days ago. 9 months into Trump's mass deportation campaign, registered voters largely support the idea of removing immigrants who have arrived in this country illegally, but majorities say they feel his methods have gone too far. That's 48 hours ago. Come on, Bill. Read the news.
What's the top line?
All right,
Well,
you
he-
guys.
Yeah, he
we'll-
doesn't
we'll-
have a New York Times subscription, so he can't access this one.
I count on my liberal friends for that.
We'll talk, all right, we're going to talk about it at the break. We'll come back. Stay with us on Point Taken.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
The Wisconsin retirement system impacts over 690,000 people, including police, firefighters, teachers, and UW employees. Join Annex Wealth Management and WTMJ's Steve Scafidi for a free webinar. Understand your WRS potential on Tuesday, October 21st at 3:30 p.m. Learn how your WRS pension fits into your financial portfolio and planning. The Annex Financial Planning team is experienced with WRS pensions and holistic financial planning. Register at annexwealth.com/events. Know the difference with a fee-only fiduciary. That's Annex Wealth Management.
Classic feeling. Your home is failing. Windows are old, roof looks horrible, siding is distressed. Even your front door fights you on everything. Hi, I'm Eric Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited, and I will be on the Fix It Show this Saturday from 8 to 9 a.m. 1 hour where you get to call in and ask about your failing home and how the professionals at Siding Unlimited can help you. Can't wait until Saturday? Bring your pictures to our Siding Unlimited showroom and let's chat. Start your home updating journey with Siding Unlimited at sidingunlimited.com.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Enjoy the Fox and Hounds restaurant's fabulous all-you-can-eat fish fry. It's one of the best. The magnificent Sunday brunch is also all-you-can-eat. Kids and grandkids under 3 eat free. Call and reserve foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
This year, it just feels different.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
Keep it to WTMJ as the Brewers fight their way to a pennant throughout the run of the playoffs. Brewers playoff coverage is presented by the Narrow Spine Center of Wisconsin and by Annex Wealth Management, Boucher Automotive, and Delta Dental. We are the home of the Brewers. WTMJ. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
All right, well, we're lucky enough that Bill is going to stay for another half hour. So in the next half hour,
lots to cover.
We will talk about Wisconsin governor's race. Joe's going to be here for the full next hour.
Stuck with me, folks.
So we're going to talk about data centers and maybe a little Katie Porter's. Are we calling it an implosion? I don't know. Anyways, final thoughts on the topic at hand before we go to the top of the hour news.
I think the Republicans, both in the White House and in the Congress, need to focus on what's most important to Americans. And right now, that's getting the government back open. It's making sure we have a laser focus on the economy, and then bringing this first mega peace deal to fruition, right? We're going to know that by Monday or Tuesday, whether or not it's real. If it is, I think then he moves on to Ukraine and Russia in a much stronger position. I mean, of all people today, Vladimir Putin tweeted out that he thought Trump got ripped off by not getting the Nobel Prize, and I'll cover that in grab bag if I need to. But
he's kissing up.
I do have the audio to play later of the woman who did win and her hearing that she won. It's pretty moving.
She's impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what
impressive.
she's doing in Venezuela is. And
Yeah,
maybe we'll
how
get
much
to that in
longer
grab
until
bag.
we're at war? actually in Venezuela. Speaking of the peace president in America First, who's droning, probably fishermen and women out on the high seas. You don't know any of their names. You don't know any of their names.
I don't need to know their names. I know what they have on their boat.
You trust these guys who don't know whether they're deporting good or bad guys?
Because their technology is that good. They can see what's on the boat.
Then come on out and do a press conference that says, last night, this is who we got. This was his role within the whatever Colombian crime family or the Venezuelan drug lords. Why don't we know who these people are? They don't have this buttoned up. The burden of proof on this stuff has to be higher than just trust us. Whatever happened to trust but verify? That's how your party
The U.S.
used to
Senate
operate.
took this up this week, and it failed. A resolution.
Because Republicans are afraid of standing up to Donald Trump, and it's absurd.
Was Rand Paul's resolution.
Yeah.
And it failed.
Good. He's one of my Republicans I want to say something nice about.
You have a lot of Republicans you're going to say something nice about this week. All right.
It's easy to say nice about Republicans.
Oh, Bill.
Come on now.
This actually strikes me as so we have this conversation every week. Say something nice. And Moses is like, oh, can I find a Republican? And Bill's like, oh, can I find a Democrat who did something nice this week? I found
But it's an important exercise.
I found like half a dozen Republicans this week. That tells me that the tide is turning and more Republicans are being more willing to stand up to Trump. And I think that's a good thing.
Tease for the next half hour for people to hear all the Republicans you're so excited about, Joe. All right, stay with us. News is next.
You should not eat ketchup after the age of 8.
Is that all condiments or just ketchup?
No,
I
it's just
think
ketchup.
you've gone down in age on that one,
You probably don't have to replace those windows. If the frames are intact and it's just the glass that's cracked, or it's foggy, replacing thermal window panes with the help of Less's Glass will save you the cost of total window replacement. When you want to know how much we can save you, all you have to do is measure the height and width of just the glass portion of the window panes. Then send us an email to info@lessglassservice.com and we'll get you an estimate right away. Just be sure to specify if you'd like us to come out and replace your window pane on site, or if you'd like to do it in the most cost-effective way possible by bringing the windows into our shop. Either way, you're saving a lot of money versus a total window replacement that you probably don't need. This is Stacy Sinks with Less's Glass Service. If it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Less's Glass. Less's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lessglassservice.com.
Before you go looking for an area rug that you'll have to settle for because you think that the one you really want will be out of your budget, come to Design Exchange, where you'll find a formidable selection of Oriental, Persian, and other wool area rug choices at 25 to 70% off retail. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
If you're trying to find really good, high-end, distinctive furniture, the kind they just don't make anymore, then come to Design Exchange. But you better get here quickly, because the best furniture we take in on consignment doesn't usually last long. It may be vintage, it may have once been out of your range, but now you'll find it's priced right. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value.
Design Exchange.
Vince Vitrano for Hunt's Flooring in Greenfield. Still time to remodel ahead of the holidays. In the Vitrano home, we're going new hardwood floors before Thanksgiving, and we can get it done because we're working with this local family-run business, Hunt's Flooring. It's Phil and Tony and the team over there always looking for great deals on carpet, vinyl, and hardwood. They buy when the deals are hot, they pass the savings on to you, and they've got everything in their own huge warehouse on Highway 100. Hunt's is ready for your project as soon as you are. Hunt's Flooring in Greenfield, huntsflooring.com.
Steinhafels is celebrating 91 years with big savings on furniture and mattresses. As a 100% employee-owned company, you'll always get honest service and trusted quality. Don't miss the celebration. Shop Steinhafels in-store or online at steinhafels.com.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. Available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Your trusted and relevant source for news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
Hello
11:01. We're still at 56 degrees, partly cloudy this afternoon with a high of 66. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Connie Weber. The advantage for the Brewers going into Saturday's deciding NLDS game will be the fans. Brewers President of Business Operations Rick Schlesinger tells Wisconsin's Morning News.
Having home field advantage, having the crowd, I think that's a big deal. I was at Wrigley for these past two games, and the Cubs fans were loud, and they were involved in the game, and I think that does make a difference. So I'm expecting 42,000 screaming Brewers fans to give us the edge on Saturday.
There are some standing room only tickets left. First pitch set for 7:08 p.m. on Saturday for Game 5 at American Family Field. A U.S. official says Israeli forces have completed the first phase of their troop withdrawal from areas of the Gaza Strip. This comes after Israel's cabinet ratified the first phase of a U.S.-brokered peace deal with Hamas, and a ceasefire is now in effect. President Trump says he thinks the hostages will all be released on Monday or Tuesday. House Republicans blamed the financial suffering of federal workers and their families on Senate Democrats today. Democrats say it's the Republicans who refused to negotiate their demands to reverse Medicaid cuts and expand federal health care subsidies. On Capitol Hill, Speaker Mike Johnson said Republicans introduced a clean spending bill and there's nothing to negotiate.
The ball's in the court of Senate Democrats right now. That's it.
That's the 10th day of the federal government shutdown. Federal judge has placed a temporary block on President Trump's deployment of National Guard troops to Chicago. The order, which will last for 2 weeks, temporarily blocks Trump from federalizing and deploying the Guard in Illinois. The Trump administration has appealed that ruling. The leader of Venezuela's freedom movement is this year's winner of the Nobel Peace Prize. CBS's Vicki Barker was watching from the foreign desk when the winner was announced.
There were multiple mentions of how democracy is threatened by increasingly autocratic forms of government around the world. Chairman Jorgen Watne-Friednes was asked if the committee was sending a warning.
Yes, that is the message to the world. We need to support the democratic forces also on behalf of peace.
This year's winner, Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado, he said, embodies those democratic values. Vicki Barker, CBS News, London.
Waukesha school officials considering a plan that could close buildings and shift grade levels district-wide. Enrollment has fallen by nearly 3,000 students since 2013, and the district says restructuring could save millions. Special education teacher and parent Sarah Withers tells the board,
these students thrive when they are supported by educators who understand their unique learning styles and when they have access to tailored resources that meet their learning goals. Disrupting the structure risks creating setbacks in progress that can take years to recover from.
Board members say they'll continue reviewing options and seek more feedback before making any decisions. Get ready for the final big traffic headache on I-894.
Hang in there. Just one more weekend left for the 894 resurfacing project that requires a 54-hour closure. Milwaukee drivers, you've been handling it like a champ. As a reminder, starting tonight at 11 p.m., 894 southbound will be closing between Greenfield Avenue and the Hill until Monday the 13th at 5:30 a.m. Along with this, they'll be closing down the ramps from 94 eastbound to southbound and westbound to southbound in the Zoo interchange to help out with traffic control. As usual, everything is weather dependent. Debbie Loziga, WTMJ News.
More details and maps at WTMJ.com. Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The markets are sharply lower on new threats of tariffs against China by President Trump. The Dow is down 577 points. The Nasdaq down 472. S&P 500 is down 106. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather up next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time. 11:05.
I'd like you to listen to a little question and answer session with James Imaging Systems client Preston Clark. He oversees IT services at Creative Business Interiors. Preston, why James?
I do feel like that we are partnered, again, as opposed to being sold to.
James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
If I need service, they're here almost within 4 hours every time. I've never had an issue where I'm like, where is that guy?
That works for you and the business, right, Preston?
Yeah, exactly. I don't have to worry about it.
Plus, there's IT-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, and digital transformation from James Imaging Systems.
I've got information that I can then go to my superiors with and say, hey, here's how we can save a little bit of money.
And
then I kind of look like the hero, too.
Want to be the hero in your office? Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano talking with Dr. Mike Nolte at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Doc, a lot of people are hesitant to visit a surgeon for spine care.
The good news is that the vast majority of patients that I see and the majority of conditions that I can see can be successfully treated without surgery. And I don't want patients to think that just because you're seeing a spine surgeon means that you're going to be signing up for surgery. We talk about, in my clinic, kind of a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C.
Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. orthowisconsin.com.
With over 57 years of experience, family-owned Yutka Fence installs high-quality fencing with residential options, including vinyl, wood, aluminum, chain link, and ornamental fences. Committed to craftsmanship and customer service, Yutka Fence doesn't just build fences, they build relationships based on care, trust, precision, and protecting what matters most. Mention you're a WTMJ fan for 10% off your project. Schedule your free estimate today at yutkafence.com or call 262-859-3226.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Milwaukee lost 6-9 to the Chicago Cubs in Game 4 of the NLDS. Teams will play a winner-take-all Game 5 in Milwaukee Saturday. Green Bay will host the Bengals on Sunday. Packers have won their last 2 games against Cincinnati, both in overtime. Badgers host Iowa at Camp Randall on Saturday. Badgers 2-3 this season, having lost 3 consecutive games. Badger Sports Update sponsored by Siding Unlimited. Siding and a whole lot more. Milwaukee beat the Detroit Pistons 117-111 at home. Bucks will continue their exhibition slate Sunday against the Bulls in Chicago. Take a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Still pretty quiet out there. We do have that disabled vehicle. It is blocking the right shoulder on the ramp from I-41 east to 41 south. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Slight chance after that, slight chance of showers this morning. Partly cloudy today with a high 66. Mostly clear overnight. Lows 49 lakeside, 39 inland. Sunny and 64 tomorrow. Chance for afternoon or evening rain Sunday after a high of 65. Just a slight chance of rain Monday morning. Partly sunny with a high of 68. Tuesday mostly sunny, 63 for the high. It's 57 in Madison, 59 in Green Bay, and 56 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scafidi and Kristin Brey.
Welcome back to our special Friday show.
The younger version.
Hour-ish. Yes. Bill McCosh and Joe Zapecki.
I'm telling on you. We're telling Dad you said that.
God, I hope he comes back. I think there's
He's posting
know.
pictures of Sicily today.
Yeah, the pictures that he's posting has he sent one to me yesterday, and I was like, "Are you contemplating just staying?
Are you not coming back?"
And he's like, "Kind of." So we'll see.
His grandkids live nearby, so
I know.
he'll be
true.
back.
Yeah. That's true. All right, let's talk briefly about developments this week for the Wisconsin governor's race. Joe, let's start with you. Are you surprised that Josh Kaul is not going to run for governor?
I don't think so. This is not your fault. It's like, I don't think that's the right framing.
Okay.
I think all of these candidates should have, and hopefully did, look at what it means to make the commitment to not just run for governor, but to be governor, and what that would mean for their life. And some folks, that calculus is really easy. Kids are out of the house, etc. Right?
Don't have kids.
Right? Like, Josh Kaul is a guy with kids who are pretty young. With a wife who works. And so I think he did it right. He didn't let whatever ambitions of his own he might have get in the way of going, is this the right time for my family? Is, given the importance of the work that I'm doing now and committed to, can I continue to do that work as well as I want to and as well as I think is necessary if I'm also trying to run for governor and get ready to be governor? And so I think at the end of the day, he just made the best choice for him. And think about this, Attorney General Kaul and the state of Wisconsin are currently involved in 30 lawsuits against the Trump administration. I think a big part of his calculus was if I'm running for governor, I can't do as good a job on those 30 cases that I believe passionately the Trump administration has overreached or overstepped. And so I just appreciate the hell out of a politician who looks at it in what I would call the right way and doesn't let their own ambitions get in the way of doing the job that the people of Wisconsin elected him to do. Josh Kaul has been a very good attorney general. I will sleep better every night knowing that he is the favorite to be reelected for another 4 years as Attorney General, regardless of what happens in the AG's or in the governor's race. Because, Bill, I don't see somebody like coming out on your side going like, you know what, I really want to take on a 2-term incumbent AG, and I've got the ability to raise all the money and do it. You guys could barely find candidates for governor. You only had 2 or 3 of them.
Who do you
we got
think
like a dozen people on our side.
Eric Tony is going to run again.
Oh, yeah, he'll be our candidate.
Okay.
I'm going to give Josh Call the same credit you did and assume that this was a personal decision related to his family. But what I would ask the listeners to consider is timing is everything in politics. And an open seat has only happened twice in the last 55 years in the state of Wisconsin. 2010 was the last time. In my opinion, Joe and I may slightly disagree on this. Josh would have instantly moved to the front of the pack in the Dem primary, regardless of how many people are in. Frankly, more is better for him because he has won statewide twice before. And my proof point on this is Tony Evers himself. In 2018, there was a 9-way primary. It was actually 10. Dana Walks was in and then backed out and endorsed Tony Evers. He was still on the ballot because he got out too late. And Tony Evers got 42%. And the reason for that is he had a statewide base. He had been elected 3 times as superintendent of public instruction. And frankly, his base were teachers from Superior to Kenosha, from Green Bay to Platteville. Josh would have that same advantage. There is no person in the race today, and I would include Sarah Rodriguez in that, who has a statewide base. The truth is, people don't know who the lieutenant governor is. So she's going to have to introduce herself. And I think the Badger poll largely pointed that out last week, that people don't really know who these folks are. That was a name ID poll, in my opinion.
But don't you undercut your own argument there? Because Call was pretty far down. Like, Call and Rodriguez were kind of on the same level.
Yeah, but I think once he got in, people would have said, oh, yeah, I remember that guy. Yeah. I voted for him. I helped that guy in Calumet County or whatever it might have been. So I think he could have overcome that. The question is, do you want to put – I've gone through this personally. Do you want to put your family through that? It's a much different race. It's a higher profile race. It's going to be a minimum of $100 million total. The candidate who wins on the Democratic side and on the Republican side probably needs to raise between $30 and $50 million. The race I ran for Tommy Thompson cost $7.5 million.
That's crazy.
Total in 1994. That's the inflation we're talking about in campaigns. So, listen, your kids are only young once. If he made the decision based on his family, I say kudos to him. But there's no guarantee the timing will ever be right again.
Yeah. But let's not forget how young he is. And it's really important for me to say that he is a very, 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 very young man in the prime of his life.
I think he's 43,
you know how I know
44.
That? He's exactly my age.
I think he's got some gray hair. I don't see any over there
So
yet.
then one question for the Republican side. Bill, are you surprised that Tom Tiffany is already taking more moderate stances and updating? Like, this was the Dan Bice article this week.
Yeah.
He's already updating his website. Does that mean he's kind of in this foregone conclusion that he's already running a general election campaign?
I think he views himself as the front runner. Where I'm mostly surprised is how well he's done on the fundraising initially.
Okay. Yeah, because we've said that multiple times. Right?
Remember,
You were not impressed with his fundraising ability prior to this.
In his congressional campaign committee, he had 146,000, which is a bad state assembly race. He's raised over $1 million in the first 2 weeks in the gubernatorial campaign, and I'm told the event he had in Milwaukee last Friday night was $250,000. So
did you get an invite to that?
I did not get an invite to it, surprisingly.
Weird.
I've had several conversations with the congressman, so I would say
Ask
this.
him why he hasn't come on this show
much
yet.
more surprised at how well he's done, pleasantly surprised at how well he's done on the fundraising side. I'm hopeful that there's a good, clean primary on our side. I think it's ultimately good for both of them. I've said before, I think Josh Shulman has 2 advantages. One is youth. He's 24 years younger than Tom Tiffany. And 2 is geography. He lives where the voters are. So in a primary, he knows he doesn't have to travel more than 100 miles to get to where the voters are. And Tom Tiffany will have to drive 300 miles.
Did you see those Republican primary numbers on the Badger poll?
I did. And Tiffany, this was a non-told story in my opinion. Tiffany lapped 2 former Republican statewide losing candidates. Eric Hovde, he was more than twice.
He was at 30, right? And everybody else was
Tiffany
similar?
was at 30. Hovde was at 14. Tim Michaels was at 9. So he tripled him. So these are guys that spent somewhere between 20 and 40 million really recently, and Tiffany was 2 or 3 times ahead of them. So I think what that says about Republican primary voters is they're ready to move on. They're looking for new candidates.
All right. When we come back, say something nice in Joe's laundry list of Republicans he's adoring this week.
Can't wait.
On Point Taken.
Here's the secret no one's telling you about those trendy weight loss shots. Many people gain the weight back after stopping, but there's a better way. Using the Milwaukee Weight Loss proprietary natural-based program, we've helped thousands of people not just lose weight, but keep it off long-term. You can lose up to 10 to 20% of your body weight in just 8 weeks while protecting your muscle mass. No side effects, no rebounds. Ready to transform your body for life? You can do this. Schedule your free consultation today at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scavidi here. After a summer in the maintenance phase, feeling great, looking great, I'm back in reduction mode with the goal to lose 10 more pounds with Milwaukee Weight Loss. That means I'll have lost 50 pounds since January. The best part, none of the intense workouts, none of the meals, kits, or shakes, no meds, no injections. Many patients see 20 to 30 pounds plus come off in just a month or two. You can do it. I did it. Book your free consultation today at 262-393-2334 or online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Escape the city and relax at Lake Lawn Resort in beautiful Delavan, Wisconsin. Enjoy outdoor activities on Delavan Lake, tee off at the Lakeside Majestic Oaks Golf Course, or unwind at the award-winning Caladora Spa. With both indoor and outdoor pools, there's fun for the whole family. Take a cruise on the Lake Lawn Queen, explore stunning shores and historic landmarks, and enjoy delicious food and drinks on board. Book your stay today at LakeLawnResort.com, where everything is better at the lake.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scavidi here to talk about my brand new show, WTMJ Outdoors. Coming up, we're talking turkey. That's turkey hunting season in Wisconsin. A great vets organization doing some great work for our vets who need our help. And we wrap it up with the waterways of Wisconsin with Milwaukee Riverkeeper. All things Wisconsin Outdoors. Join us every Saturday, 2 to 3, right here on 620 WTMJ.
It's WTMJ Outdoors, presented by Outdoor Living Unlimited. Yeah. You keep saying your side is better. It's time to
say something nice
about the other side of the political aisle on Point Taken.
Come on, people now. Smile on your brother.
All right. Let's get to it. Let's start with you, since Joe has so many.
So this week was very difficult for me to find. Mine would have instantly went to any national Democrat who was willing to say Jay Jones, the Democratic Attorney General candidate in the state of Virginia, should withdraw from the race. Sadly, not one.
Really?
Did.
Not one
Not
did?
one. Not one. My say something nice is about my friend Joe Zepecki. He and I, and I'm going to tell the listeners, sometimes you guys text in and say he sounds angry. He's never angry. He's passionate.
Mm-hmm.
And I love passion in politics. I'm very passionate about it, too. So Joe and I agree on this. There are red lines in politics that you cannot cross. And in today's politics, after the former Speaker of Minnesota and her husband were murdered in their home, and Charlie Kirk was murdered in front of 3,000 people, and within 5 minutes, 10 million people had seen that murder. You cannot have a candidate for any public office who texts another lawmaker in the state of Virginia. This wasn't like some private
And it was
text.
also on accident, right? Wasn't he
No.
trying to send it to someone else?
No,
I
he
thought...
sent it to her, and she was a Republican. I mean, so the notion that somehow this was private is ridiculous. There is no such thing as private communication between lawmakers. So the notion that he could say he wanted the speaker to put 2 bullets in the head of the Speaker of the House of Delegates in Virginia and have his wife watch her kids die in their arms.
It was really
completely disqualifying.
Bad.
And last night, Abigail Spanbauer, the front runner for Spanberger,
because there was
got
a
asked
debate
this question
for
3
governor.
times,
Yeah.
and she couldn't say that she didn't endorse him anymore. This is simple. This isn't right versus left. It's right versus wrong.
Mm-hmm.
The way I grew up, that's disqualifying. He can't be dog catcher. And my friend Joe was willing to say that with me, and I appreciate that.
Yeah. Like he should have dropped out. He should have been forced out. There are always mechanisms to address this.
100%.
And including enough leverage on that gentleman to just come out and say, like, if elected, I will not serve. Right? Because, like, the ballots are out. That's the only complicating factor. Or, or for leadership of Democrats in Virginia to say, like, if he's elected, we will immediately begin removal
Politically,
proceedings.
that's actually the best answer because it would force a special election.
Yeah. So, yeah, Democrats didn't play that one the right way or the way I would have. Okay.
Let's hear the list.
All right. I've talked about Kevin Stitt, Republican governor of Oklahoma. I've talked about Phil Scott, Republican governor of Vermont, who are rightly criticizing the deployment of a state's National Guards into another state against the wishes of that state's governor. I've talked about Rand Paul, who doesn't think we should be just murdering people on the high seas without ever saying who these people are or meeting any burden of proof to, oversight committees in the Senate, much less to the American people. This is the names of these people. We know that they are narco traffickers or drug traffickers, and here's why, because none of that has happened. So thank you, Rand Paul, for standing up for Congress's role in the war powers. I think the one that I missed, hold on, everybody, sit down. Ron Johnson. United States Senator Ron Johnson.
Mark this state down.
One of my least favorite United States senators.
State down.
I have something nice to say. Senator Ron Johnson this week talked about a way to avoid federal government shutdowns that makes a lot of sense, and I really appreciate him saying it. And the idea is you don't let the federal government shut down, that you take a Wisconsin idea and you export it
on this as well.
to Washington. So we talked about this during the state budget process. If at June 30,
Just
every 2 years,
at existing level.
you just keep it going, just roll it forward. And Ron Johnson's saying, why don't we do this? This is nonsense that we allow the government to shut down, allow this negative impact on the economy. Because that's the thing. If you don't work for the federal government, you might not think that there's an economic impact, but there is, right? Ranging from delays and disruptions to commercial air travel,
economic data.
Right? There's an economic cost to these every time there's a shutdown. So let's just not have shutdowns anymore. Thank you, Senator Johnson, for putting forth that common sense idea. My only note, Senator, please, in the next breath, when you start whining about spending and the national debt, can you please remember
being
that
spied on by the
just
FBI?
voted to add $3.5 trillion to the national debt? That's my only note for the senator.
All right.
You got one?
Mine was Kevin Stitt, so you already took mine as far as the Oklahoma governor. All right, when we come back, we'll do grab bag and say toodaloo to Bill.
The dance of sunlight on water.
Shimmering, sparkling, beautiful, hypnotic.
Houses that overlook a gorgeous body of water are the most highly desired houses in the world.
The Bellamare collection of fine jewelry features classic white diamonds, flanked and surrounded by rare and exotic blue diamonds.
Bellamare means beautiful water.
Bellamare, sunlight on water, glimmering and twinkling.
The dance is enticing.
The look is spectacular.
The impact is exciting.
Blue and white diamonds created in the heart of Mother Nature.
Will dance and sing on the body of a glittering, sparkling woman.
Bellamare. This blue and white beauty of sunlight on water
should be worn on the fingers,
the wrist,
the neck, and the ears
of the woman you love.
The Bellamare collection is available only at Kessler's.
We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
For the location of the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Loyalty, family. Few things are more important. This is WTMJ's Steve Scafidi and Loyal Family Renovations. They saved the day after a brutal storm in Oak Creek. Hail damage, yeah, I had a lot of it. But Jeff, Jake, and the whole team, absolute pros, made the entire process smooth as can be. Let's be honest, not everyone knows how to deal with adjusters. They handle all the questions, quick answers, top-notch customer service. In just 2 days, my roof was done. If storm damage hits, call the team that made it easy for me. Loyal Family Renovations. Visit LoyalFamilyRenovations.com.
Does your bathroom belong in a haunted house? Or maybe it's just time for a refresh. WTMJ and Sidex are back with the Beautiful Bathroom Contest. One lucky listener will win a tub or shower conversion valued up to $10,000. It's easy. Snap a pic of your scary shower, terrifying tub, or even just one you're tired of. And enter now at WTMJ.com. Sidex makes it easy to go from fright to fabulous.
Potential is like God's love. It lives within everyone and shows us that we are made for more. At Aug Prep, faith ignites excellence in academics, the arts, athletics, and every aspect of our lives. Students don't just realize their full potential, we learn to soar. The #1 K-12 school in Milwaukee is expanding to the North Shore. and is now enrolling grades K4 through 6th and 9th. Og Prep North, made for more. Apply today at ogprep.org.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guest, Siding Unlimited. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. At 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ. All right, since we got most of the politics out of our systems, let's finish up with some grab bags.
All right, breaking news, Bill, for your grab
Breaking
bag?
news. So this morning, the Nobel Peace Prize Committee announced that Maria Corina Machado was their recipient of the Peace Prize for 2025. Surprising many, including some world leaders who thought President Donald Trump would get this award. This is what she just put out. We are on the threshold of victory, and today, more than ever, we count on President Trump, the people of the United States, and the peoples of Latin America, and the democratic nations of the world as our principal allies to achieve freedom and democracy. I dedicate this prize to the suffering people of Venezuela and to President Trump for his decisive support of our cause. I didn't know a lot about this lady until this morning. Rachel Campos-Duffy on Fox and Friends this morning was very complimentary. Good on this woman. I mean, that's the kind of people you want to get an award like this, that she recognizes that there are things bigger than her and what she's working on. I believe that President Trump earned it. Joe and I sometimes argue about this, that for him it's something that he seeks. I hope he does seek it, because I think it's in our interest that the President of the United States wants to win the Nobel Peace Prize. I can't imagine they could pick anyone else in 2026. So keep working at it. I'm with you. I think it's good for us, and good on Maria Corina Machado. That's impressive.
Is he decisively behind? I guess I know more about our Venezuelans when it's like deporting them and Tren de Agua and the boats and stuff like that. I know less about his commitment to the democratic cause that she's behind.
She believes that he is a freedom fighter with her.
Yeah, because she wants him to send in the troops to do a land war and
is
what
that
do we call it?
Eeyore
Nation
reappearing?
building? Yeah, right. I mean, like the pre-positioning of military assets towards Venezuela is like actually a real thing that's happening. And I don't know, wars of choice. I thought Republicans were against that, but look out for a regime change war in Venezuela.
There won't be one.
Featuring the United States soon. Eeyore's gone. I'm done.
Okay.
A couple months ago, I talked about a book called Not the End of the World by Hannah Ritchie, which talks about how you kind of sift through how bad all the news seems to look at global trends and things and ways in which the world is actually improving. In a historic first, reported within the last 24 hours, for the first time in human history, renewable energy provided more electricity than coal did. That is progress, right?
Globally.
That is progress globally. It does not mean that we shouldn't get back in the Paris Peace Accords or that there's not more we can do to like address climate change and to meet our energy demands through renewable energy. But it's flipped now. The number one way to produce electricity on planet Earth, solar and wind and other renewable forms. And that's a monumental moment.
Say the name of the book again.
Not the End of the World by Hannah Ritchie.
There's another one that I remember reading in like 2016 or 2017 that was similar as far as when you look at global trends instead of the day-to-day news.
Yep.
We're doing okay. Quickly, I will say I saw this in WPR this morning that one of the students who was critically injured in the Madison school shooting last December has finally been released from the hospital.
Oh, that's great.
His name's Sammy. He still has months of rehabilitation in Chicago, but I feel like it's one, thank God he's out.
My daughter has nursed him.
And two, the reminder that there's still a lot of harm even when the fatalities seems like a small quote unquote number. What it takes to actually recover from being shot sometimes takes this long. So congratulations to Sammy. All right, Bill, we'll see you next Friday.
Great show. Go Brewers.
News is next.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. In Tennessee, emergency crews responding to an explosion at a manufacturing plant in Hickman County, southwest of Nashville. The mayor of Hickman County says at least 13 workers are unaccounted for. It is a sprawling facility dealing with high explosives. ABC's Matt Rivers has more.
You're talking about a mass casualty event, you're talking about a brush fire in the area, and you're talking about the risk of secondary explosions, which is why you're hearing authorities at this point telling people, look, stay away.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:31. I'm Connie Weber. Man accused of putting super glue into his coworker's soda avoids jail time. 35-year-old Joseph Ross pled guilty to one felony charge of placing foreign objects in edibles. Prosecutors say a woman working at State Fair Park noticed a strong chemical smell coming from her open drinks on her desk. She'd been getting sick after consuming the drinks. After setting up a hidden camera, she captured Ross adding a substance to her drink, turned out to be super glue. A judge stayed Ross's sentence of 18 months in jail, placing him on probation for 3 years instead. Milwaukee police need help finding a critically missing child, 10-year-old Julian Jackson Smith, last seen Thursday around 3 p.m. near 52nd and Center Street. He was wearing a navy blue Letterman's jacket with white stripes, gray joggers, black and purple shoes. He's 4'9", about 100 pounds, brown eyes, curly hair. Authorities say Smith may be walking or riding a light blue scooter. A teen recovering after an early morning shooting on Milwaukee's south side. Police responded just after midnight near 22nd and Tripoli. 18-year-old went to the hospital. Police still looking for the shooter. Time for some news about your money. In the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update, the Dow is down 432 points at 45,925. NASDAQ down 430 at 22,593. The S&P 500 is down 89 points at 6,645. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Pretty typical drive times. No major snags out there on the freeway system. 41 South Highway Q to the Zoo take you about 15 minutes. 94 North from Layton to the Marquette about 7 minutes. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. After a slight chance of showers this morning, partly cloudy today, high 66, clear tonight with a low 49 lakeside, 39 inland. Sunny and 64 tomorrow, just a slight chance of rain in the afternoon or evening on Sunday, high of 65. Slight chance of rain Monday, then partly sunny, high 68, and sunny on Tuesday with a high of 63. 60 in Madison and Green Bay, 57 degrees in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:33.
Classic feeling. Your home is failing. Windows are old, roof looks horrible, siding is distressed. Even your front door fights you on everything. Hi, I'm Eric Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited, and I will be on the Fix It Show this Saturday from 8 to 9 a.m. 1 hour where you get to call in and ask about your failing home and how the professionals at Siding Unlimited can help you. Can't wait until Saturday? Bring your pictures to our Siding Unlimited showroom and let's chat. Start your home updating journey with Siding Unlimited at sidingunlimited.com.
Cheese doodles, Mr. Nougat Bar. Oh, here we go. 4-door hatchback.
Some things are fine to buy from a vending machine, but a car is not one of them. The national online company makes it seem convenient, but it won't be so convenient if you have a problem with the vehicle you buy. And if it's after 7 days, good luck. Adam member dealers also let you search online, plus test drive the vehicle before you buy it. And they're right here to handle any issues.
What? The car's stuck. No!
Start your search at adam.com.
We've seen a significant uptick in the number of gasping customers in this 12-foot radius at Penny Mustard.
This is where we display the Joni sofa.
Now that's a gasp-worthy sofa.
You'd never know something this strong and beautiful could be so comfortable. Was that you?
Oh no, it's contagious.
Come see the Joni sofa, starting at just $80 a month with no interest until October of 2027 through October 19th at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
Here's a dose of reality. Driving under the influence of prescription painkillers is just as illegal and just as deadly as driving drunk. In fact, there are nearly 2,000 drug-related crashes every year in Wisconsin. Help prevent drugged driving and let's achieve 0 preventable deaths on Wisconsin roadways. Driving on pills kills. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Departments of Health Services, Transportation, and Justice.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I am Kristin Brey. Joe Zepecki is sticking around for the rest of the show. And I have a couple different topics to get your Democratic strategist opinion on. And the first being...
I have to be a strategist? I can't just be me?
You can also just be you. But, so my piece is not out yet, but the piece that I wrote for Journal Sentinel this week that I think is coming out tomorrow is not really taking a stand on data centers good, data centers bad, me personally, but more saying this is going to be an issue next, for the first time I think ever, it's going to be an issue in many elections, but including the governor's election next year. This is the first year where it feels like there's a lot more attention, like where at the beginning of the year, I think a lot of people didn't really know much about AI data centers. And by the end of this year, not, thanks to Charlie Barons, who's made a couple of videos about this and has a huge platform, more people have more information and more opinions on these data centers that are popping up across Wisconsin. To me, it doesn't seem like a straight Republican versus Democratic issue. It also doesn't seem like as simple as a yes, there should be, or no, there shouldn't be issue. So I just want to get your thoughts on how you think this will play out next year in campaigns and messaging.
Well, I think you and I live inside the news cycle, and we both know more about this and have been following it more closely than maybe some folks have. So I think it's worth spending a little bit of time talking about why these are issues that are starting to emerge, right?
Yeah.
And so
we already have data centers. I looked this up yesterday.
Yeah.
I think we have 47 already in the state, and this is because these are the things that house everything we do on the internet.
Yes. And every year we are producing more data, right? And the computing power math is changing as more and more people are using AI. So you need more data centers, right?
Mm-hmm.
In order to operate data centers, there's a tremendous amount of heat associated with all of those servers. Like they're essentially server farms, right? And so access to fresh water like that in Lake Michigan is required to sort of power the cooling systems that prevent these things from overheating. And that gives places like Wisconsin, particularly the eastern half of the state, a leg up because of our access to fresh water. In kind of the same way that one of the reasons that Foxconn ever looked at siting in Pleasant Prairie is because of the extraordinary amount of water needed for that industrial process that they were going to do. And so these data centers are coming. Where are they going to put them? They're going to put them near fresh water. And there are environmental concerns. There are economy issues that are a little bit different than some of what we've seen in the past, because a lot of times when there's economic development and you need to hire, like building trades union members to construct something, to build a building, they do that knowing that you're also going to need a lot of people to operate that building once it's up and running. With data centers, that calculus is different because these are largely self-sufficient automated systems. So even if you can put 300, 400, 500 union members to work to build a facility, you might need half a dozen max to operate it once it's up and running. So that's a little different economic development calculus for municipalities and for the state. Before we get to the politics of it, I want to just do an aside to all of my friends on the left, which is stop being reflexively against everything. That's not helpful. It's not called for. It's not appropriate, right? We have leverage, we, the state of Wisconsin, and these units of local government that are involved in these siting decisions have leverage and ways to, do good in the end, right? To
so this is your
carbon
advice.
Offsets. This is my advice, right? Is don't reflexively be against stuff. And that's not me being abundance pilled. That's me being a pro-economic development, pro-growth Democrat, which I always have been.
But do you think that's also the message that's because there's the aspect of how people will campaign on it, but there's also the aspect of how voters feel about it, because you see what's happening in Port Washington, and as people get more information about these things, understanding I think there's more, and I could be wrong, but it seems like there is more information out there for residents that feel like these are not good things versus they are good things.
Yeah,
Do you agree with that?
So engage in the conversation and educate the public, right? You were the one who found for me that New Mexico, with the additional tax revenues that they've gotten from investing in data centers there has been able to do free childcare.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're talking trade-offs. Now we're talking about what other priorities, right? It is the largest corporations in the world, the Amazons and the Microsofts and the Metas who need these things. So how do we first and foremost leverage them to build stronger communities, right? And because I will say this, we talked about the environmental impact in terms of freshwater. The cost part of this is the other thing. It is no way, no how appropriate for some of the most profitable corporations in the world to come in here to build these data centers and to make taxpayers pay for it.
Or have everyone's energy bills go up.
Like consumers are getting hammered right now. And if you are one of the top 5 corporations in the world, with which Amazon and Google and Meta are.
And probably Microsoft.
Right. Like, no way. You ain't passing the buck to ratepayers and consumers to construct and make even more money. But that's what I mean. It's like, that's a leverage point. How can we do good for consumers by allowing the access to freshwater? Like, that's a leverage point and negotiation point that, done right, could be really good for the state of Wisconsin. So let's not just reflexively say no to everything, is my advice to the left.
Okay. Let's take a break. Do you stay on this or move on to the next thing?
Up to you. You're the boss. Your show.
All right.
KB.
I'll decide. That's the tease. Guess what we're going to talk about next? This is Point Taken.
Hey, this is Steve Scafidi for Advent. I had some snoring issues that kept my wife up at night. That led to poor sleep and a lot of tired mornings on the radio, and nobody wants that, trust me. But it's simply, my nose wasn't working the way it should. I decided to go to Advent for a quick 30-minute visit, one of their great facilities, talk to a bunch of their doctors. They really put me at ease. After a really simple sleep study at home, in my own bed, they determined the root cause of my problem had to do with my sinuses and nasal passages in my breathing triangle. I didn't even know I had a breathing triangle until I went to see Advent. After a short procedure done in office, I'm back to breathing well, and my wife and I are both back to sleeping through the whole night. The best sleep we've ever had, that could be you. If you struggle with restless nights like I did, take the time to see how Advent can help. To find out how breathing well and sleeping well can make your life and your nights a whole lot better, go to AdventKnows.com, schedule an appointment today. Because Advent knows, when you breathe well, you live better.
Half a century of marketing expertise joined with over 20 years of local market knowledge. Not to mention the savings you'll see after you get our best commission right up front, which, by the way, is only 1.9% on the listing side of your home. Join that together and you can be sure that you've chosen the right real estate experts who have the experience to market your home effectively and give you a commission that'll end up paying for things like new furniture. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. They saved over $50,000 after we sold their home at only 1.9%. You don't have to pay 6% to market and sell your home. Hundreds of Century 21 Benefit Realty clients will attest. You can get it all for only 1.9%. The more value your home has, the more important it is to find the best real estate commission and the marketing ability to get top dollar. And with Century 21 behind us, that's what we have. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
We see you out there doing things your way. So why shop the same retail giants as everyone else when you can find the same trusted products at unbeatable farm and fleet prices? Like $2 off Nutrina Nature-Wise poultry feeds, $3 off for rewards members. Save $70 on a DeWalt 20-volt max drill and impact driver combo kit. And assorted Hillman nuts, bolts, and washers, just $2.49 per pound. Find value on the things you value right here at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Are you worried about running out of money in retirement? Wondering about how to pay less taxes? Join me, Tony Drake, for the Retirement Ready Show, live every Saturday at noon and Sunday at 7 a.m. on WTMJ 620 or 103.3 FM. We'll talk about smart strategies to help you retire with confidence. Don't miss it.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I am Kristin Brey, finishing up the Friday show with our friend Joe Zepecki. And this is not a Wisconsin topic. and it's not something that most of our listeners affects them at all, but it's more of a... So it just feels like a hit job, and I want to know you're from like a point of view of someone who's worked on campaigns, who's still in the background when you hear about like Oppo and tips that get, sent to Bice and all, like kind of the shadows of campaigning that happen that I'm not familiar with because I haven't worked on campaigns.
Did you say Bice?
Dan Bice. So it's like locally when
I thought it was Don. Oh. Am I convincing you that I don't know who Dan Bice is?
No. So this week, if you're paying attention to the news, Katie Porter, former congresswoman who often went viral for her little whiteboard when she would be questioning people in Congress. She lost in the primary for Senate last year to Adam Schiff. Now she is the front runner for governor in California. And back-to-back videos came out this week. One of her trying to do an interview with a CBS investigative reporter that got very contentious very quickly, and she almost walked out. And then another video of her trying to do an interview, and one of her staffers walks in the back, and she basically like curses out her staffer for being on her shot. And to me, I watched this, and it feels like, for the little I do know about campaigns, like, oh, this was a coordinated hit job to take the legs out underneath her campaign. Do you agree with that being true?
The release of the second video?
Just the 1-2 punch of this both happening in 1 week.
But but nobody orchestrated Katie Porter walking into a local affiliate's newsroom and doing the same interview with the same questions on the same topic that every other candidate for governor in California has faced, which is what do they think of Gavin Newsom's attempt to redraw congressional lines in California in response to what they're doing in Texas? That is totally fair.
Well, no, the question was, what are you going to say to Trump voters? And do you feel like you need them to win?
But that's not a gotcha question.
No.
It's a valid question. And when a leading candidate for governor walks into a studio and it goes that badly, that news organization gets to release that footage. They should release that footage. It's news. So that's just like
a misstep.
Bad luck, bad timing. Maybe Ms. Porter had a bad day. I don't know. But like, that is a terrible look for her. And what the second part of that, which is an older video surfacing, what's your definition of coordinated? Right? Like, that could be something that one of the other Democratic candidates has somebody who works for them, and they say, I used to work for Katie Porter. Yeah, she kind of sucked. And like, boy, I can tell you some stories. And they're like, no, we're not interested in the stories. You got receipts? And they say, well, yeah, I guess I got this one video that looks kind of bad. And maybe a campaign said like, okay, sit on that, because there's going to come a moment where she's going to expose herself as not ready for prime time. And when that moment comes, then we're going to put that video out into the world. So like, that's certainly plausible, but it's also possible that it's just a former staffer who had that video who's really mad at Katie Porter for the way that they were treated when they were working for her, and has nothing to do with anything, but they saw how Porter handled that interview, and they were like, well, this is the time I can do maximum damage to get back at my boss who was mean to me and I don't like. And then they just put it out into the world. And I'm actually okay with all of that. I think people have heard me talk enough about how, like, you can't hide it. You can't hide who you are anymore. Mm-hmm. You can't pretend to be one thing. You never should if you're an elected official or a candidate. Like, the truth outs. It always does, right? And especially in the age of cell phone videos, like, this is, like, based on everything I've ever heard, Katie Porter is hard to work for.
I have also heard that.
Right? And so, like, so is Amy Klobuchar.
Yep.
Doesn't mean she's a bad U.S. senator. Doesn't mean that Katie Porter would be a bad California governor. But it's information about their personalities and that of, everybody else who's in Congress or running for governor that, like, is information voters should have so they can make an informed decision.
Do you think this kills her campaign?
No.
I don't think so either. I think there's some people, I think we're getting closer to a world where we're okay with mean women.
And I love that.
Right? If you just come out and embrace, you're like, yeah, I'm really tough and I get things done. What was that? That wasn't, I'm not going to say it because I don't want to make Jazz's life harder. But back in 2013, So 2016 when Hillary was running, and Tina Fey and Amy Poehler had their, I don't know if I can say it, but ladies get things done.
Yeah.
Mean ladies get things done.
Yeah, mean ladies get stuff done.
Stuff done.
Yeah.
And so that's what'll be interesting, because I think this certainly doesn't paint her in a light where you're like, oh, I want to go work for this woman. But it doesn't mean that she wasn't effective while being a congresswoman.
She was very effective.
And certainly doesn't mean that she wouldn't be necessarily be effective as a governor. And what she did point out in that interview is that she is from a purple district, right? And so she has won potentially Republican votes in the past. It just was an interesting week for a high-profile campaign, and I wanted to get your thoughts on from the campaign strategy side of it.
I got no problem with.
How does she recover? That's a better question, and then we'll take a break.
I think apologize to the reporter, because I think Ms. Porter crossed the line from tough into a little bit of condescension, and but
it's also what she's known for.
But it is appropriate to do that to your political opponents. It is not appropriate to do that to somebody who's asking a fair question as a working journalist.
All right, so apologize.
I think apologize and be like, I'm going to be who I'm going to be, and part of that is being tough. I went a little overboard on that. There's no hard feelings. I'd love to come back and have another conversation with that reporter, and they can ask me anything they want.
All right,
that would be the way through for me.
All right, we'll come back after this and finish up the show.
How do you want your backyard to look? New deck, patio, shade area, pergola, fire pit, in-ground pool, outdoor kitchen, or all of it? Let Outdoor Living Unlimited design and build your space, and everyone will scream wow when they see your new backyard. Stop by Outdoor Living Unlimited's resourceful Waukesha showroom or visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
It's Gina Della. You've heard me define what makes Pella Windows and Doors different. Let me introduce you to the woman behind the billboards, commercials, and share my extraordinary journey of resilience, reinvention, and shattering glass ceilings every Saturday morning at 6:30 on 620 WTMJ and anywhere you stream podcasts for What's the Difference with Gina Della to discuss business coaching across all industries, featuring successful executives, entrepreneurs, and mentors along the way. This is a story you won't want to miss.
It's a family fish fry Friday at the amazing Mine Shaft restaurant in Hartford. WTMJ's John Mercure here. Do not pay $16 or more. Your Mine Shaft haddock fish fry is just $7.99, and it's all you can eat. I love the Mine Shaft fish fry. Desserts are always buy one, get one free. That dessert selection just makes my heart happy. My stomach, too. Get out of your kitchen, enjoy a cold beverage. And the Mine Chef's all-you-can-eat fish fry today for $7.99. They've got a kids menu, incredible, starts at just $3.99. They'll love that world-class game room quietly set aside from the dining area. Take your family to the Mine Chef today for the $7.99 haddock fish fry and free tickets to Terror on Rural Street, the ultimate Halloween attraction in Hartford. The Mine Shaft in downtown Hartford and in Oshkosh near the EAA. Lots of seating, close parking, serving from 10:30, so arrive early. The Saturday breakfast buffet is all you can eat under $10 from 8 till noon. There's no restaurant inflation at the Mine Shaft. Just Google it, Mine Shaft Restaurant.
For over a century, local radio has evolved with the needs of the community. From politics to pop culture, we keep you informed, bringing you the most relevant news, online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
You've still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it hard to fight flu, pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
Tune in to Wisconsin's Midday News with Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
He wants to have multiple championships. And if there's a first-round exit for the Bucks, it will be hard for me to believe that Giannis has a long-term future moving forward in Milwaukee beyond this season.
Bringing you the latest in news, sports, traffic, and weather.
Artificial intelligence is making its way into nearly every part of medicine, and now a major new clinical trial is testing whether AI can help doctors detect breast cancer earlier and more accurately.
Every weekday from noon until 3 p.m. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
other political news that you want to get off your chest before we say goodbye?
The Tish James indictment is an abomination.
Okay, you did say that. You're like, how did we not talk about this today?
Yeah, the actual weaponization of the legal system and due process that is happening under this administration is a deep, deep stain on this country, and we will be reckoning with it for a very long time.
When you say reckoning with it, what does that look like?
I hope that Democrats, when we are back in power, take the high road and do not play fast and loose with the law, because that's not how it should be treated. But I don't know who the next Democratic president's going to be. And now there's precedence for, I'll just go after my political enemies and do it not by the book, which is how they've done Comey and Tish James, as opposed to, Trump's indictments. Like, you can be mad about them, but they went letter of the law. The process was by the book, and there's nothing about these indictments of Comey and Tish James that is by the book or standard operating procedure. It's all manufactured nonsense, and that's very, very dangerous.
All right. Well, with that, thank you for your time today,
Happy
sir.
Friday.
Happy Friday. Maybe we'll see you next week. Maybe you'll be in D.C. and the government will be open.
TBD.
But that does it for us. I will be back on Monday with a lineup of great guests. Have a great weekend. News is next.
Does your bathroom belong in a haunted house? Or maybe it's just time for a refresh. WTMJ and Sidex are back with the Beautiful Bathroom Contest. One lucky listener will win a tub or shower conversion.